Aloha everyone and welcome to our Culinary 310 Part 2 project. My name is Ken and contributing to this presentation was Cynthia, Neal, and Yomi. We've got a lot of things to cover today, so we'll be going right away. We'll be covering 3 topics today: category ranking, state-run organizations, and addressing the economic crisis. Our first topic: hospitality businesses heavily impacted by COVID-19. We've ranked 4 of these industries: event planning, restaurants, airline, and hotels, as we thought those were the 4 major industries that were impacted by COVID-19. Coming in at number 1, we've got hotels, which most of these hotels are still closed and not operating since our first lockdown in March. One of the few hotels that is still operating is Outrigger Waikiki, and even they have had to change their policies as far as social distancing and their sanitization standards. This does create a big factor for unemployment, as many people did lose their jobs when these hotels closed or their positions were no longer available. Continue with hotels. The average daily rate dropped 42.7% compared to last year, and the RevPAR as well dropped 86% from last year, and occupancy was 64.4% lower this July than it was last year in July. This is a big deal because July, part of the summer months, is a major contributor to the state's economy. Number 2, the airline. The airline industry has had to make so many changes as the way they operate as a result to COVID-19. The only Hawaiian hub airlines, Hawaiian Airlines, has also had to make drastic changes as well, including changing their change fee policies so that passengers can reschedule their flights without any change fees. They've also implemented comprehensive health and safety programs, a health acknowledged form, as well as requiring adequate face masks for all passengers, and implementing sanitization methods that are in compliance to CDC recommendations. They've also reduced their schedule and route numbers and still continue to cap their cabin capacity at 70% through October. More information on the airlines here. July 2020 saw only 22,500 visitors by air travel compared to 995,000 in July of last year. This is a huge difference compared to last year. Outside the US, the biggest group of tourists, visitors to our islands is from Japan. Last year showing 134,000 travelers from Japan. This year there was a mere 54 visitors to our islands from Japan. This also has to do in part because most international airlines have suspended flights to Hawaii, including Japan Airlines and ANA, or All Nippon Airways, both hubbed in Tokyo, Japan. Also, Hawaiian Airlines has recently had to furlough employees due to the loss of routes and revenue. Restaurants, coming in number 3, have been closing permanently due to COVID-19. Over 50 restaurants statewide has closed since March, including high-end restaurants such as Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and smaller restaurants like 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 Drive-In, who have been around the community for over 30 years. As part of the big industry here in Hawaii, this creates an increasing influx of unemployment in the state. Also, dine-in seating for customers is restricted at this time, and so even at one point it was available, but up to a maximum of 50% of the total capacity. Because of this, restaurants are increasing the spending on their personal protective equipment for their staff, and also having to provide other items such as plexiglass, temperature scanners, acceptable menus, and proper cleaning and sanitation gear so they can just stay in business. Number 4, we have event planning. So different events throughout our state have been canceled or postponed, including the wedding industry, live music shows, festivals, and other events, sporting events, and events at the Hawaii Convention Center have all been canceled or postponed due to COVID-19. Topic 2, statewide organizations important to support the specific categories of business. Now the first one we want to talk about is the Hawaii Department of Transportation. The Hawaii DOT partnered with NEC Corporation to install temperature screening equipment at 5 airports statewide. This includes Honolulu, Kona, Hilo, Kahului, and Lihue. This is big news because now instead of the Hawaii National Guard members manually checking passengers' temperatures as they deplane, cameras installed at the gates will be able to capture anyone whose temperature is over 104 degrees and make the deplaning process much smoother. It's also a step forward in preventing the possible spread of COVID-19 in the future. Other foundations, the Hawaii Agricultural Foundation, nonprofit organization that promotes agriculture and farming, also helps to work with local farmers and restaurants to use our local produce. Hawaii Food and Wine Festival, big yearly annual festival that brings together lots of restaurants and chefs from all over the globe here in Hawaii. Many events usually take place over the many islands. However, this year all the events are done virtually. The revenue from this does help to fund the KCC culinary program. One Oahu Organization has partnered with the City of County of Honolulu, Resilient Oahu, and the Department of Emergency Management, with Mayor Kirk Caldwell also, to allow $75 million in grants to soon be available for Oahu's small businesses. Topic 3. What we think the state is doing wrong in addressing the economic challenges of the hospitality industry in Hawaii. Updates on proclamations, mandates, and orders. This is important because in April, Governor Ige issued a proclamation restricting the 4 county mayors from enacting any sort of emergency response policies without approval of the governor. The reason for this is because there was confusion among Kama'aina and visitors as to what the current updated procedures were on the different islands. Now, because of this, what it can do is put everybody on the same page and all the proclamations being accordingly to each county and throughout the state. However, this can delay policies being issued in the counties that are trying to do so in a swift, quick manner. However, hotels like Alohilani and organizations like HTA have been keeping their websites current and up to date with the latest information on these proclamations. The Hawaii Trans-Pacific Program is a pre-testing program that allows travelers to enter the state freely as long as they have a negative COVID-19 test taken no more than 3 days prior to their travel. Now, this is a program that has been delayed month after month by Governor Ige, and we're hoping to see if after October 15th he will lift this ban, and by doing so it will potentially increase travel to our island and help to stimulate our economy. The lack of state unity is a big topic as citizens of Hawaii are starting to get frustrated, if not already are frustrated, by the closing of businesses and status of our economy here in our state. However, the reason for all these closures is because of the rise of COVID-19 cases. Therefore, we have to find a way to lower our case number so that our business can reopen again and we can steadily bring back our economy. So in conclusion, there's been a big effect to businesses, both local and from the mainland and internationally. This has caused a spike in unemployment throughout the whole state. And the state has begun to take measures to reopen the state to visitors. However, there's still a lot the people of Hawaii must do before we can begin to heal our economy. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, be safe and mahalo.